Good afternoon, everyone. This is Doug Struthers on the line, and we are about to start a special meeting of council on Tuesday, April the 28th, 2020 at approximately 3 p.m. I'm just going to do a quick roll call to make sure that everybody is online and identified. As I did the last meeting, it may seem a little painful, but it's works very well for identification and one person speaking at a time, etc. So I'm going to pretend you're all sitting at the council table going clockwise, so starting to my left. Councillor Malloy, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Foster, are you on the line?
I am on the line.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Cameron, are you on the line?
I'm here.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Helpney, are you on the line?
On the line.
Good stuff. And then I just want to make sure, Mr. Malloy, did you hear everybody?
Yes, I did.
And Mr. Foster?
Yes.
And Mr. Cameron?
Yes.
Thank you. And Mr. Helpney?
Yes.
Thank you. So I am sitting in the council chambers, and there are two staff members with me, and I'll introduce our CAO, Doug Robertson. You are here, sir?
I am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And our deputy clerk, clerk of record for the meeting, Christina, you are here?
Yes, thank you, Your Worship.
Was everybody able to hear Mr. Robertson and Christina?
Yes. Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Just a few opening comments before we get into our meeting. Just wanted to, as we know, and so appropriately so, a lot of thanks has gone out to the frontline workers in not just in our municipality, but throughout the country, of course. But I think it's worthwhile also mentioning the work that our staff have been doing on a regular basis, day in, day out, in terms of the ongoing delivery of the services and operations of our municipality. It may not seem like it, but it is, put in quotation marks, business as regular business, just not the regular way we do it in terms of sometimes delays and so on. But the services and operations are being delivered to the residents of our municipality. Having said that, I think it's also important to do a particular thanks and a shout out to the residents of Marrickville Wolford. You know, the line is together by not being together. Let's not undo the hard work that our residents have been doing in terms of isolating and the social distancing. Why is that important to say? Because I think the evidence is there, as indicated through our regional health unit, that we do not have community spread. And that is so important to be able to move forward. Kind of a bit of a segue into the announcement yesterday by the province through Premier Ford in terms of perhaps more of a roadmap, definitely not a calendar, of moving forward, whether it's by sector or area by area, whatever it ends up being, it will definitely be based on, we'll call it the science and the health of the province, of our regions, of our municipalities, of our areas. So that can only happen, you know, as they say, not just flattening the curve, but seeing that line go lower and lower. And that is by the work of individuals collectively not getting together, as they say. So again, thank you to the residents of Marrickville Wolford. Just a quick wee update. I might let members know that I have not, as you know, declared a state of emergency, and part of that was in a discussion at our municipal emergency control group meeting last week, and there'll be probably a little more scripted points to provided to council members, but just as a general statement, again in the right context, nothing has particularly changed in the sense that no new actions were required from an emergency perspective. You know, we are well buttoned down with the help of the health unit. You know, our grocery store is open with the right guidelines in place, etc. So that is the good news in terms of our municipality. From an operations point of view, there was discussion, and that would be from staff to do that in terms of just because the province has not given any indication as an example of camps opening. There likely will not be, from a staff, not the control group, but from the staff point of view, moving forward to hire a summer student for the camp program. Similarly, on the public works side, given the amount of some of the items that were taken out of our budget, with council approving a reduction in the tax rate from 3.13% to 0.44, there's not the need to hire a summer student. So that's just a couple of the items that resulted in, I'll call it an action, but it's an action taken by our staff from an operational perspective. Importantly, though, was the discussion, and I did a roundtable from the members of that group of, what has changed, what might the mayor take into consideration for the need to declare an emergency, and nothing specifically was identified. Although I will share with you one of the things that I think everybody, not just the mayor for Wolford, is keeping an eye on with the upcoming of warmer weather. Larger urban centers may want, individuals may want to travel further than in their local community, and that would be coming to Marrickville. And we would want to be careful on that, on how we would manage it, but nonetheless keep an eye on it so we do not have an import of community spread. There's no evidence of that particularly now, and perhaps with some of the announcements that may be coming from the province in the coming weeks, there may not be the need for that particular concern. But again, the science and the health will help manage any decisions that might be made in the future. Having said that, I will say to members, I'm going to be asking, as we did at the last meeting, I'll assign a mover and a seconder right now for any motions, and when that motion comes forward, I'll ask that mover and a seconder if they are okay to make that motion. So the last meeting, it was Mr. Malloy and Mr. Helpney. Just to spread around the fame, if you will, I will ask the mover and the seconder of all motions, the mover to be Mr. Foster, the seconder to be Mr. Cameron. And again, to repeat, when we come to a particular motion, I'll ask the individuals if they are okay to do so. I think that's pretty well sets the stage for us moving forward with our agenda. So I'll be going around the table to ask if anybody has a pecuniary interest, and if they do, what the general nature is of that pecuniary interest. So, Mr. Malloy, do you have a pecuniary interest?
No, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Foster?
No.
Mr. Cameron?
No.
Mr. Helpney?
No, sir.
Nor does the mayor, so our clerk has captured that. Thank you very much. Members, you do have before you the agenda, so I'm going to ask for approval of the agenda. Mr. Foster and Mr. Cameron, would you both be all right with being the mover and the seconder of said motion?
I will approve, yes, I'll move the approval of the in-camera agenda.
Actually, no, we're doing the agenda at the moment only. So you'll be the mover for the agenda, and Mr. Cameron, you'll be the seconder?
I have a question first, if I may, please.
On the agenda, yes?
We're under the control of the emergency response team.
No, no, we are not.
We are not?
We are sitting as council.
So, well, my question was, if we are under the care, why are we discussing regular business? And if we are not under the care of the emergency control group, why are we not holding regular meetings?
Well, first of all, the emergency control group is not does not control council whatsoever. I would suggest you review our emergency plan, which actually council saw in December of last year, and so I'd ask you to review that. So it's totally wrong to suggest that. Number one, why are we having a special council meeting? As council agreed at our meeting in March the 23rd, it might be, when we were certainly going, I may have the wrong date on that, but it was early March, with the province announcing an emergency. Council unanimously agreed that we would have meetings on council meetings on an as and when needed basis, and they would be special council meetings.
Yeah, okay, I understand that, but...
Good.
The province after that, had changed their mind and said that we were allowed to hold regular meetings if we so desired, and I was just wondering why we haven't returned to that format.
Because council is still under, working under special circumstances that council 100% agreed with, and for all things such as social distancing, et cetera, and staff working from home. While it is business as usual, it's not the usual way we do business, in ensuring that we respect guidelines set out not just by the local medical officer of health, but by the provincial medical officer of health. So we're operating totally under what council has agreed to unanimously. But thank you for your questions. So it is indeed moved by Mr. Foster and seconded by Mr. Cameron. Be it hereby resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Village of Marrickville-Wolford does hereby approve the agenda of the special council meeting of April the 28th, 2020, as circulated. All in favor? Are you in favor, Mr. Malloy? Could you repeat that, Mr. Malloy?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Cameron?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Halpney?
Yes.
And the motion is carried. Thank you.
You have to vote.
And I'm just being corrected by or advised by our clerk of record that the mayor is in favor of it as well.
Thank you.
And now we have a motion to go in camera. And again, I'll ask Mr. Foster, are you okay to make that motion?
So moved.
And Mr. Cameron, you're okay to second that motion?
In favor, yes.
No, I'm asking if you're okay to second the motion.
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. So it's moved by Mr. Foster and seconded by Mr. Cameron. Be it hereby resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Village of Marrickville-Wolford does hereby move to an in-camera session at 3:15 p.m. under Section 239(2) of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended to address matters pertaining to personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, and 2, a position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board. All in favor? Mr. Malloy, are you in favor?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Foster, are you in favor?
In favor, yes.
Mr. Cameron?
In favor, yes.
Mr. Halpney?
Yes.
And the mayor as well, that motion is carried. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are in camera, and when we finish the in-camera